it was just so much. And Chris literally, like, her little Pisces intuitive self is like, beep, boop, 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 boop. And like, hey, I found this place that's halfway between us in Virginia. We can like drink wine and read Quicksilver. And it was perfect.
I am not happy. Please don't hate me for suggesting this, but also like not trying to be a complainer too. This is an interesting place.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
One of our We're Back episodes.
We love to do it.
We love to do it. We love to take a break, you guys. If you learn one thing from this podcast is that we really stand on taking breaks. But truly, what a summer and in transition into fall season we've had. I don't even remember when our last episode was released. I think, you know what? Because I think on Instagram I was thinking it was mid-August, but I think that was just because that was our last like social that we did. But I think beginning of September was our last release.
Yeah, we technically released beginning of September, but the last time we recorded was definitely in August. So it has been a minute because it's October 2nd. Hooray!
It is October 2nd. We have one day until Taylor releases Life of a Showgirl. Am I ready? No. I'm truly not ready. I don't know what to expect. I'm scared. I'm excited. I'm terrified. I'm still at the restaurant. Like, I am still so... I'm with, like, my coven around a sorcerer's table right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's... Yeah. So me, like, about to go put on my little, like, showgirl outfit... I do not know what to expect. All I know is that eldest daughter is number 5, and I fear we're not going to be okay.
I know. I'm really curious. Like, obviously, we have the vibe, like showgirl, but like, what is it going to sound like? You know, it's been teased that'll have like a 1989 like rep kind of vibe just because of like who's on the record in terms of like writing and producing, or actually producing because she writes. Yeah, I don't know. And October is just like, it's such an interesting time. I feel like an interesting time of year to put out something that seems like all like glitter, glam, party, like pop bops.
Yes.
Which we, so like, I know it'll be great. It's
gonna be great.
So different from the aesthetic of Tortured Poets,
Totally. And Tortured Poets is something that, like, to me, it is the album that I think I frequent back to the most. I think it's one of my favorite albums of her. There's just something to it that I just adore. So it's gonna be really but I'm so happy for her because she's so not in that era anymore. And so like I am just like really excited to see what this new music is. And yeah, it's October. So it's like normally like right now, like I'm listening to a lot of Evermore, right? Like I'm listening to, I know you're listening to Midnights today. Such a great album. I like need to listen to Midnights more. I was listening to the one scene when I was writing for my book on the beach. I was listening to Snow on the Beach over and over and over again. So
yeah. Yeah. It's a really good like getting ready album. But you're right. It's kind of the time of year where we're like listening to like Evermore, Folklore, like Tortured Poets, more of like that like indie, like quiet, like fall stuff. So it's going to be really interesting. My plan tomorrow, well, there's like 50% of me that's like, should I go to Target at midnight to get a vinyl for a record player that I don't have?
It's okay. I have so much vinyl here now and I have no record player. Right. It's something I'll have to buy at some point because now it's embarrassing. But I'm
But
just
yeah,
saying, like,
my
you can.
right, I guess, but my plan tomorrow is to just, like, put the headphones on and sit and listen and, like, be with it, which I did with the last album specifically. I just, like, took the day and was like there was so many songs and so many lyrics and, like yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun too to see her at on, like, all the talk shows and stuff too this weekend and just have her
I
be my
know. Well,
algorithm
especially this
again.
time. Yes. Well, because this time too, because like the last one was so long. Like we had two very long albums with Torture Poets. So like we needed the day. I needed multiple days to like go through the album and like really hear it and see it and understand it. And we're only getting 12 songs this time. So it's like we're
Mhm,
gonna be able to listen to the album like multiple times in one day. Because it's not
mhm.
like a 2 to 3 hour album anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just gonna be really, I don't know. I'm excited. I know I don't have any special plans. My plans is to just listen to it on repeat. I wish we were
Mm.
together,
I know.
honestly, but as I was texting you last night saying I'm 2 glasses of wine deep and I really wish we were on girl trip right now. But I guess that does lead us into what we're going to talk about today because it's been a while. We've taken a break, obviously, because so much has been going on. I'm sure you guys have noticed I have a different background because I moved in the beginning of September. I no longer live in Southern California. I'm back in Jersey, back on the same coast as Chris. So we're still long distance besties, but at least we're in the same time zone. But it took everything out of me. And not only did I drive across the country with Lily, and if anyone follows me on Instagram, I just did a whole post on that, which is just crazy. So if anyone's following me on Instagram, you know what I've been doing. But then Chris and I still had book trip planned. And we had book trip planned for what, since the beginning of this year, I want to
Mhm.
say. We started thinking about it in January, February. And I'm like, it's, we went on the 17th and I was like, I don't want to cancel book trip because book trip is so magical and like so much comes out of book trip. But getting down to Florida after driving across the country and everything. Also, like wire flights to Florida, $400 from New Jersey. I'm like, a flight from Jersey to Florida shouldn't be $400. I'm sorry. I was like, this is crazy. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm like, is there any way we can figure something else out? Because now also I'll have Lily. I can't, she's now driven across the country. There's just like so much change. I just felt like I was like, poor girl just needs to like come with me. And so we did Virginia instead.
We did. And who knew Virginia would gift us so many just wonderful moments and things. Yeah, I and we did have, like, a little bit not, like, hiccups, but when we were, like, planning it initially, we had, like,
Yeah.
one stop, which was also the beach. It was, like, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and then we, like, scrapped that. And then we ended up, like, doing this Florida thing, and we're like, "The beach, like, whatever." And, like, as it was getting closer, like, not only with, like, your life circumstances, but also just, like it just felt like that setting was no longer right, like, in our gut, like, it was no longer
Yeah.
the place that we needed to meet, which is so weird, especially for me who's, like, beach, like, "Get me out of here, get me to the beach," like, it almost felt like going backwards, like, going back to, like, a summer setting when we were truly, like, heading towards, like, a fall aesthetic, and I think really wanting that, and so, just when we made the switch to do Virginia, which normally, being in North Carolina, like, Virginia's, like, not on my radar of, like, places that I want. Sorry, Virginia. Virginia's for
So
lovers, I
sorry.
know. Not for me. It just, like it felt so right. And I'm so glad we honored that because this book trip last year's was incredible, but this year's book trip, I can't even put it into words. It blew me away. It really blew me away.
It really blew me away too. And it was everything that I needed, right? Cuz like and I'm so grateful for you. Sometimes you just have to like let your intuition like follow cuz like this move wasn't planned, right? I
Mhm.
didn't know I was moving in the beginning of September, obviously, when we were planning all of this and like to go to Florida because like we were originally like so excited about the beach because we wanted to do something different from last year. Last year we were in the mountains, we were reading Throne of Glass, and like also didn't know much about where we were going, but somehow wound up like in our own real life terracin, right? And like that
Yeah.
was magical. And so this time, like wanting to still do book trip, because now I'm like, I'm going through a breakup. I'm like, what better time than to like be with my literal bestie in the whole world and like have book and then like read our books and like just like be somewhere together like as I'm like going through this giant transition in my life. And yeah, like it like we booked the Airbnb and even though, like, we were so excited about it, but I agree, like, as I got closer, I was like, "Why is this not working?" And it's so funny because we really tried to have AI, like, pick like, we put all these or, like, not even AI, but, like, we picked our things and, like, we had a little, like, automatic, like, turn what do you call that? Like, a spinning wheel thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That they have at, like, fairs and you, like, spin it and you, like, win a prize or whatever. We did that in terms of, like, picking our location. And yeah, we got Outer Banks, all the Airbnbs we were finding. Meanwhile, I've been in the Outer Banks before. It's beautiful. So it's nothing on the Outer Banks, but like the Airbnbs we were finding were like absolute fucking trash. And so we were like, ew, you know what I mean? And then because I'm like, also when you're gonna go to the beach, I'm sorry. I want to like literally see water and sand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna just go sit in a house somewhere, like we can go sit in a house like anywhere. But if I'm at the beach, I wanna like have eyes on ocean, dunes, grasses, you know what I mean? Something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So then when we found Virginia, and I was like, Chris, and I felt really bad at first because I was trying to still make it work. I was looking at flights. I was like, well, maybe I can like fly to you because a flight from Jersey to Charlotte's $86. So I'm like, maybe I can fly to you and then we can drive down. But then the drive down's like 10 hours. Again, y'all, I just like solo drove across the country. It was just so much. And Chris literally like again, her little Pisces intuitive self is like, I felt like you were just like beep boop 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 boop. And like, hey, I found this place that's halfway between us in Virginia. Super random, but it's like wine country. And like we can like drink wine and read Quicksilver. And it was perfect. Because even though it was book trip, and yes, we still read Quicksilver, I feel like it wasn't as centered around the book as like necessarily. We still read it, of course, and it was still so much fun. But I think what we got out of book trip this year, I don't know, there was so much magic and there was so much dreaming, especially I think his last book trip, we came from like also in like pits of despair. Like I didn't have a job and I was super fucking miserable and like you were going through your own like feeling super lost and like not knowing like what the next chapter held. And then this year going into it, it's like you built a whole bookstagram and we have a book podcast and like I have a job
You
and I
wrote a
wrote a
book.
book and like all of this and it's like wow, like just like looking back at where we were, like the magic of book trip I feel like was really able to come through. And like we went to a rodeo for the first time and like that happened so like everything that I feel like we did was so like guided
Yeah.
without us realizing, like, without us realizing what we were going to do. Like, we did not plan to do we bought tickets to the rodeo 45 minutes before it started.
Yeah. Which the reason that is so significant for our listeners is that when we were toying like with the idea of book trip, like we booked it and then we like dabbled with the idea of switching to like a country, like, Montana, Wyoming type setting, um, because we were in our cowboy romance era.
We were in our cowboy
And
romance era.
so we ultimately didn't do that, and I'm glad we didn't in the sense that, like, logistically, that would have been really rough.
Oh, it would have been awful.
But, like, just the fact that there was, like, this, like, little, like, universe wink, like, "Hey, like, let me just give you this, like, little
Yeah.
gift." And you could, like, sit there and be like, "Wow," and just, like, so funny too because we sat there and we dreamt about, like, what cowboy romance we would write and, like, what kinda characters we would wanna include and, like, almost, like, thinking that, like, just, like, that was it. Like, the rodeo was the major gift of book trip, and little did we know that that was just an appetizer.
Oh, like, yeah, like, that was just, like, the potential. Like, that was
Yeah.
just the start. It was
It
the
it it
appetizer, truly, just
it
like you
got I
said.
feel like it was something to get, like, our combined imagination, like, flowing and our, like,
Yeah.
energies, like, synced up and, like, just really, I don't know, like a little creative cauldron started boiling.
Um, yes. And I feel like that's what we talked about when it comes to book trip the most is, of course, it's a coming together, and yes, we're reading a book together, but it's like getting together with another human being, and you're ideating and you're dreaming and you're, I mean, because I always say this, I think I said this, what, in my speech at your wedding, like, Chris has always been my dreamer friend. Like, we always, even when we were a couple girls in our 20s dreaming of some road trip to wherever,
Right.
there's just this magic and synergy that we've always had together,
Yeah.
and to now bring this here and, like, for the first time, like, because now we're not, like, the magic of book trip last year was getting us started, and I feel like this iteration of book trip was, like, actually, like, getting creative juices flowing and, like, creating really cool, exciting things together, where it was,
Mhm.
like, so again, so much more than just, like, Quicksilver or even, like, our own independent journeys, but it's like, "Oh my gosh," like, we are, like, building things together, and it finally, because Chris and I've always had goals and dreams of, like, the bookshop and, like, us, like, because we're both, like, event girlies too. Like, Chris used to plan and run weddings for a literal living, which is crazy. Also, like, how iconic of her. I'm an executive assistant in my day job, so I plan all the time. For myself, not so much, but for everyone else, yes. But it's just like we've always have had that background, but, like, we're long distance besties. Like, where we, it's still like that dream, though I know it will happen, feels so far in the future. And what we discovered on this book trip, again, through just the happenstance of the universe, starting with rodeo, ending with, like, a day that on paper could seem like a fail of a day. Like, went to this restaurant that, like, we had a different idea of what we wanted, and then we went to like a fall thing that, like, was super crowded, a lot of kids, but, like, we did get apple cider donuts, so, and cider, so we needed that. Also, the bugs in Virginia are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Fucked. So fucked up. So fucked up. And
So
then we went,
scary.
so scary. Like, the moment those stupid fucking lantern flies would start landing on us, we were like, okay, this is the universe telling us it's time to go. And, like,
Mhm.
that would be our, and that's another thing. We're, like, trying to, like, have all these outfits and do, like, fall vibes. It's like 85 degrees. It's like,
Yes.
and I'm a sweater. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, Meg, like, we need to fucking relax. It's 80 degrees. Like, let's not, we
Oh.
can't be doing all of this. But yeah, so then we went to the cidery, which, like, a lot of kids, super crowded. But like we got what we needed to get. We got our mugs because we get mugs every year now because we got mugs last year. So we got our cute little orchard mugs. And then had cider left. Then went to this other bar I thought was gonna be more of like a cocktail. It was like in a like it's one of those like it looked like a food court. It was like a
Yeah, like
food
a
court.
food hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it was like, okay, oops. But that's when, but like literally, like, so on paper, the activities that we did, like, didn't, also, we had the same thing happen in Breck. Yes, when we were in Breck, the same fucking thing happened. But for whatever reason, this day that started out on paper not necessarily like meeting our expectations was actually the catalyst of the biggest gift that we got on paper. And Chris
Mhm.
opened up her magic and her like generator magic. I'm like, Chris, this is why we have to get you out of the fucking house
I know.
because because we're at lunch at a place where we're the youngest people there, unless like it was like children. So it was either like grandparents, so like grandparents and their siblings, right?
Yep.
Or like mom and dads with like young kids doing something like historical.
Yeah.
And then it was Chris and I. Like
Mhm. Dolled up.
the food though, yeah, like dressed to the nines. You know what I mean? Like we are like dolled up and ready for the day. Food was good, but it was just not like the experience was like not the experience that Chris and I were coming together with. But it
Yes.
was that experience that launched Chris into this whole Pisces creative mode that then sparked our whole day of like pure magic and we
Yeah.
just volleyed. I don't
Yeah.
know how much we want to actually say what
Right.
happened,
Right.
which is why I'm being vague.
Yeah. Basically, to be also cryptic, we were at this restaurant that we thought was going to be one thing, definitely was not the vibe that we were expecting, and I'm sitting there trying like, it almost felt when we sat down, I'm like, "Ooh, this doesn't match Megan and I's energy or, like, personality or, like" it's just a weird start to being out for the day, and it had the
Totally.
potential too to just, like, put me in a funk. You know what I mean? Just, like, have you ever had those, like, moments where you go somewhere or do something and it's just, like, it's not for you, and then all of a sudden you feel really off? And so, I'm, like, trying to, like, make jokes, but also, like, I'm also, like, insecure too because this was my idea. So, I'm, like,
Yeah, you
trying to let
never have
Megan
to.
know that I am not happy. Please don't hate me for suggesting this, but also, like, not trying to be a complainer too. So, I'm just trying to, like, make these, like, sarcastic passive aggressive comments about, "Hmm, this is an interesting place. Hmm." And then I was like, "How" and then all of a sudden, I was just like because it was so not us, this, like, little story came into my mind, like, matching how it's not us, and so I guess from there, we got this idea of a project together, um, and just, like, a story that we are planning to write.
Do something with.
Is that okay to say? Um, and then it was just, like, all day, it was just, like, ideas, 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 and just being, like, on the same wavelength and flow and, like, "What if we did this? Yes, perfect. What if this we had this name? Yes, perfect." Just, like, it was
It was everything. I've just like I don't think I've ever been that like in tune. Like just like we were both in such this beautiful creative flow. And I mean literally it was like the second it was like the second the words came out of Chris's mouth, I felt like, "That's so Raven." I felt like I was like, "Oh my god, and what about this? And what about this?" And what and it like and lunch literally went from like, and meanwhile, you never have to apologize. The food was good. I was just like, it was just like so funny. Like it was just like the experience itself was so funny. But then it just like it made the lunch so insane, like so insane in such a good way that it then just like completely it changed our whole day, changed our lives. I feel like because it's again like we've been friends now for over 11 years because last year was our 10-year anniversary, which is another reason why we're like we have to do book trip. But it was like this thing where it was like Chris and I have been trying to do something together for so long. And like yes, we're doing this podcast together now and the podcast is great, right? We're still building it and we're still doing it for our 4 listeners that are here. But we I just feel like that weekend and then like we went back and we watched Practical Magic, which Chris has never seen, and I'm like,
No.
how is this possible? Immediate I'm like, let me sign on to my Amazon because you know I have that purchased. It's a purchased item for me. We go, we watch Practical Magic. We're drinking some of the wine that we bought from the wineries throughout the weekend. It was just like perfect. And like I felt like I was in shock by the end because that was also our last day too. This
Mhm.
was our last day of book trip as well. The rodeo was the day before. And it was just one of those things where it was like, oh my God, like I feel like for the first time, like Chris and I, we found it. Like
Mhm.
we finally found it. Like my being and like everything in me, I was like, holy shit, we finally did it. Like we finally landed on something after so many years of like wanting and trying and doing and like things just not shaking out or not that I even like not shaking out, but it's just like a not possible with like where we're at in life
Mhm.
and like realizing we had to go through everything we had to go through the year before to like get us going and like how then this trip also just continued to like expand us to this point where like we have so much to do. We have so much to do in like the best way and like also want to like start bringing even the magic of book trip out because I feel like this like book trip can't just be just for us. Like
Yeah.
I feel in my heart of hearts like there's something so beautiful about getting a group of women together and like yeah, we might be reading maybe not the same book, maybe we're reading our, books of choice, but like just talking and experiencing and like going to wineries and going to the rodeo and like just like going and like experiencing life and like letting life just inspire you. It truly reminded me, which we've talked about this and I used it in your cosmic creativity reading, but literally us going out to that fucking lunch was literally you having a Drew Barrymore moment out in music and lyrics at the fucking where were they? I think they were just like walking down the street or
Yeah.
they were doing something. I don't know. She said like or maybe they were out to lunch. I forget. They were doing something. And I'm like, this is literally like Chris's, like this is how she creates. And
Mhm.
it was beautiful. And now
Mhm.
I feel like we're just I don't know, in this really cool, beautiful place. And I
Mhm.
was drinking some wine last night and I was like, I wish we were on girls trip again. And because I just know that there's so much magic
Yeah.
and I would love to have other people experience that magic too.
I
And
know.
like, it's just a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. No, I think it would be awesome to bring other people into it, and I think we're ready sooner than we think. Like, I to be able to share that, like, with other people, just because, 1, like, obviously, we're, like, readers, but we're also, like, creative, so to, like just because, like, we love it so much to be able to offer a space for other people as well to be inspired, to do some writing, like and, like, be able to gift what we've been able to experience these last 2 years to, like, other people, and knowing, like, more people's, like, souls and personalities and everything are in the room, like, I just think that would be really awesome. But just, like, with, like, the flow that we were experiencing too, it's also, like, so special and such like, such a pleasure too for it really this thing that we are now gonna work on together fits you and I
Ugh.
so perfectly. It's a manifestation of our friendship and just, like, the books that we love and, like, our personalities and just all the things, so it's, like, really exciting, but also, like, it'll be cool too, next book trip, to be able to look back and see what we created together and then what we also were doing, like, where you are with, like, your book and, like, where I am
Mhm.
with book stuff, you know what I mean? I just the magic of book trip. It's really
And that's why
special.
there was no canceling book trip. Like, there was no option to cancel book trip because
Yeah.
though book trip we did it once last year, that was our first time doing it. We left that trip and I started writing a book, and you started like, went from having absolutely no presence, scared introverted girly, to having a whole platform that has gotten you even other opportunities in the book world
Mhm.
that we don't have to get into, but, like, we
Mhm.
true like, you true like, the 2 of us, and then we came in this book trip, and I was just like, you just it's shocking how much, like, there's just magic. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know how else to describe it. Things just shift within you and things happen. And I
Mhm.
think because you are with another person that is also just like dreaming with you and encouraging you and supporting you and like giving you just like there's just so much magic. And you're
Mhm.
getting out of your own head and your own space too, and like letting yourself be inspired by life,
Yeah. Yep. Totally. And just,
you
like, have
know?
other people, like, affirming that creative spark that, that you're having, and to for them to be like, "No, that's good." Like, because I just feel well, just, like, being in, like, the bookstagram space right now, it's cool to talk to people online all day about books, but I do think there's a lot of people in life right now that are feeling, like, lonely and alone, and the magic is not the same. Scrolling and
Totally.
commenting and, like, all of that, and so it's just so weird, like, this I feel like this wouldn't even be a conversation, like, over 10 years ago, but just being in person is so simple, and yet it's, like, not as common, you know?
Totally. No, I mean, there's a whole I think a lot of people are struggling with having a lack of community right now.
Mhm.
I mean, I know even I felt it, and that's why I moved where I moved. I like moved back to my hometown because I just like really needed to like be with people that like knew
Yeah.
me and loved me, and like not everyone gets to experience that, or even but even here like you think, because I like wear my book merch to the gym, and like or even like where I was living before, like I would wear my book merch all the fucking time because like low key that's all I wear. And you would think that like people like because especially when you're online, it seems like everyone's reading the same books as you and everyone's doing all this stuff, but then you're out in the world and all of a sudden it's like, oh, people have like no idea what Fireheart means on my t-shirt, like at all.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's so crazy. And I think that's just the one thing, especially again, like women are just so magical. I'm sorry. Like women are so magical. There's a reason why there's fucking covens. I'm sorry. I'm not. But like there's something really powerful about being in a space together and having people that like the same books that you do or doing the things that you want to do. I've always been such a fan of like retreats and just being in spaces with other women doing similar things because it starts to just unlock so much for you. And I feel like Chris and I have created this little like synergy for the two of us together, to the point where like now these last 2 years, like I can't even imagine what book trip is going to be like next year. Right. And
Yeah.
like how far we're going to come from there, and like the episode we're going to be recording, and just continuing to be in awe. Right. Like it's just really beautiful. And
Mhm.
I also think we're so much ready, like we're more ready than we think. It's just wild. It's just so wild to think about, but it's so exciting because I think
Yeah.
between that and then obviously like this little endeavor we're about to go on together, again, it just feels so right. And
Mhm.
I just want more women to experience that. And also like realize, it's like, Chris and I do other things that aren't, our we of course would love to make our creativity full time, but I also think this is such a beautiful way to like help women tap into their creativity while they're still moving and grooving and doing other things, and like, supporting their families or supporting themselves. I mean, like I now live in I've like living in 1 bedroom apartment. I'm
Mhm.
about to like hopefully I would say maybe by next time my background will be better. Who knows? This is gonna be a process. But like I don't know. I feel like I'm in this era of like, wow, like I'm really like I'm doing all the things. Like I'm supporting myself. I'm editing a book. I'm about to write a new one. Like I'm like my notes app is like filled with like little things and ideations, and I'm riding the train to New York with a printout copy of the book that I'm editing. Like it's just like a really crazy, in like a plaid fucking oversized blazer. There's just the energy is just like really potent right now. And I just, yeah, I just can't believe how far we've come in this book trip, and like from last year. Because last year, like
Yeah.
again, like I have a 1 bedroom apartment right now. I didn't even have a fucking job last year.
Mhm.
There's no way that I could have even supported myself to be able to
Mhm.
even do the move that I did. I made a joke in my um post on Instagram that like, because a trend right now is like January me. I think is like would be in awe of September me, or like be
Mhm.
so proud of. And I'm sure she would, my January me, I think would throw up at me, the current me right now, because
Yeah.
January me literally wouldn't even be able to fathom a like life transition that I just
Yeah.
been through in the last few months, that I truly didn't see like for my future at that time. And so again, all I just can't help but feel like all of that going into this book trip, because all of that needed to happen for us to switch the location, and like I brought Lily, and like
Mhm.
there's just like something, and now I'm like, okay, I'm here and I'm supporting myself for the first time ever. I'm going to be totally honest. Like I've always lived with roommates, or I lived with boyfriends. I never lived by myself. I just feel so things are just going to get like really great.
Yeah, yeah, and I know in the past, we have described our last book trip, our state, as being, like, Aelin drunk on the roof, just
Yeah. Yeah.
2 girlies, like, escaping life into this series, bonding over books, like, escaping reality. And just, like, where we are now and, like, what we've accomplished since then, which I don't think would have happened without us getting together at that book trip. Even if we were commiserating a lot of the time, like, I don't
Totally.
think we would be where we are if we didn't have that trip together.
No.
And even cool seeing how, like, even if life circumstances have changed drastically, and if even if they're not under the, like, most ideal circumstances, or, you know, just, like, life changes that are hard and stuff like that, I just also love that there's just this, like, light and freedom, like, coming from you specifically too, of just like, yeah, life just changed dramatically, but, like, really feeling like there's a start of, like, a new era. I don't know, I'm proud of us.
I'm really proud.
And I
Like,
just
I'm
the
really
timing
proud.
too of Book Trip this year as well, of just, like, feeling like it's also the start, like, it's happening around the beginning of this new era, like, for both of us. Like, we're both, like, embarking, obviously, on this new dream that we have, together, but also, like, this new chapter, no pun intended, of, like, where we're headed. I don't know, I'm sure we'll also look back and be like, "That wouldn't have happened if we didn't have this book tr book trip."
Yeah,
So
and that's why, like, there was no canceling book trip, and that's why
yeah.
people will think I'm fucking crazy because I drove across the country, took 5 days to do it, and then, 2 weeks later, I drove down to Virginia. I drove down to Virginia, a good 6 hours for book trip. No regrets. No regrets, baby. Absolutely none. I feel like not to bring Aylin back into it. So it's like, okay, book trip one was like Air of Fire, right? We're drunk on the roof, beginning of Air of Fire. Now I feel like we're heading into Queen of Shadows.
Oh
Like
my god, we're Dorian and Aelin at
Aylin,
the end.
totally. Like we're coming back. Aylin has red hair. You know what I mean? Like we're killing Arwen. Like there's things we're setting the scene because like Queen of Shadows like sets the scene, right?
Yeah.
And things everything have Manon and Dorian, shit with Baba Yellow Legs. Like
Uh-huh.
I just feel like the ending, they cut their little fucking hands and then they hold hands and like exuberate power. There's just I would say we're back, but technically this is the same episode. We are in different clothing because technical difficulties really got the best of us last week. They really got the best of us.
We really did. We tried multiple times that day for sure. And sometimes you just have to call it.
Sometimes
Come
you
back another
really
time.
do.
So
Yeah, especially when we did try the second time, it was like like the things that were coming out of my mouth at that point too, because like I like didn't have brain cells anymore, like were embarrassing. And even this is just to end the episode. Like we were already pretty much there anyway. This was just ending it. But like the things that were coming out of my mouth, I was like, it's time. It's time to
yeah.
just take an L on this one. And then the same thing happened when we were trying to record. So it's like, okay, fuck it. Fuck it. We're just going to have to do this later. So here we are coming at you, same episode, but different. I think I was comparing Chris and I coming together for book trip with as Aelin and Dorian when they combine their powers together.
Mhm.
And I still feel strongly about that. Now that we're almost I can't believe how much like a few weeks out we are. Like I miss the magic of book trip. Like I wish it was longer. I think next year we have to plan a longer one. Or I
Yeah.
mean, I know it was like the perfect timing, but it just like I don't know, I just get sad because I like want the magic of book trip was so powerful and now we're like integrating it all and I'm still
Right.
getting used to being in a new apartment and everything, but I miss it.
Right. You come back and lifes and you have obligations and all of the things, and you just wanna, like, savor it and, like, take the magic with you as much as you can, and so, yeah, I agree. I do think that, like, example of Dorian and Aelin is, like, the perfect thing because that is how truly it felt. It really felt like magic in so many ways, so, I mean, I'm very optimistic and think that, you know, things will still be created and, it
Yeah.
was an experience that I won't forget for sure.
Uh
Like, I am not the same.
yes.
Just like last year, we were not the same, after, so that's just how it is, but
No. We were not the same, and that's what's so magical, and so if anyone just takes one message out of this episode, I think it's really, like, take the trip, like, get together with your bestie girlfriend and, like, take the trip and
yeah.
live life together and create together and just see like where, because we had no expectations of this, and like it's so weird how crazy different this book trip was from last year, because last year was so book heavy, and this, obviously we did read Quicksilver. We didn't finish the book together like we did in the previous year. We also didn't have the time restraint of having to get tattoos at the same time. So I think that was really helpful. And I think it helped us enjoy book trip a little bit more, because we weren't like, we have to read 300 pages tonight and we have to
Right.
finish, like I have to finish this book, like literally finish the book and drove to our
Yeah.
appointment,
Yeah.
our tattoo appointment, right? So,
Yeah, it was definitely a more relaxing pace, and I can't wait to talk about Quicksilver with you, and it'll be interesting too to talk about it because we are a few weeks out removed, and just, like, what has stayed with us and how we feel about it, like, now versus then when we first finished it, I guess.
mhm.
So, yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and I think we get on right into it. So, y'all, this is gonna be our next episode. We're gonna hop into Quicksilver and do more of a deep dive, because I'm really excited too. And I think it's kind of nice. It gives us a little bit of a, and I'm really happy that we chose Quicksilver as our
Yeah.
book, nonetheless. All right. um, we are going to officially be done with this episode. The same weird thing just happened again, where Chris just keeps getting kicked out of the room and we keep having to stop recording, and then clearly this episode just has to end. So it's going to be over now.
We are going to record a Quicksilver episode now, so please join us in the next video.
It's going to be
Yay!
great. It's going to be so fun. Stay tuned. Quicksilver, we're going to go record it right now. And that's what you'll listen to whenever our next episode comes out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk soon. It's going to be a blast. Sorry, this episode is so fucking weird, but we're doing our absolute best. So, love you guys.
Bye, everyone.